Welcome to the Corbellic studio. I'm back on another video where I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of how I'm going to be doing one of my paintings. You guys are going to come with me just so you can see how easy it is that anybody could create anything that comes out of you. You already know what to do. I don't have to tell you what to do. You don't need any art lessons. You don't need any art class. I didn't go to art school. I didn't go to art class. So we're just going to have some fun. I see that you really enjoyed the last video that I did where we were just creating art. So I was like, man, this is going to be easy then. I can make plenty of videos where I could create so much art. I'm just showing up the work. I'm not doing anything special. I still work every single day. I'm pumping out a bunch of art so I can put it up on eBay. So it's no problem for me to just show you me coming up to work. You got to watch out for those other characters though. Those other characters, they're not showing you work. Only thing that they're working is trying to work you out of some sales and upsells and coaching and things like that. No, we show up to the studio every single day. We go to work. Enough talking. Let's get to it. The first painting that I'm going to do, what do we have here? Let's tone down the lights a little bit. All right, so you can see on the projector that we're going to be working off a parrot, right? Is that a parrot, or is like a toucan Sam? You know, colorful bird, something like that. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna see what comes out of it. This was one of my other works that I've done before. So sometimes not only that I'll use reference photos from anything that I see online, or even if it's something that I could type in AI, hey, a funky dog, a funky cat, or a bird, or anything like that. I'll also go back to some of my artwork that maybe I did a year ago or anytime, and then I'll just retouch it. I'll just do a different version of it or whatever comes out. I don't know what's going to happen. Every time that I show up to work, I feel like I don't know. But that's the cool part, is that you can do it too. No one has to know about it besides me and you. All right? We're just doing this. Create art. Feel free to do it. Use the projector. Go out there, get a $50, $30 projector and start having fun. And then if you sign up to the Art eBay community program, I'm going to show you all the steps in there, how to set everything up. It's no problem. So the first thing that we're going to do, let's get some background color on here. I like to have just a little bit of color in the background. So here my brush is slightly wet, so that way it's not going to have the easel or the canvas be so dry, because that's what can happen. And if it's dry, it's just hard for you to mix on the other paint on the canvas. It's like painting on a towel. What I always say is just difficult. And I put in different colors in the background, and then after I put in other colors in the background, what I do, I'm just telling you things of what I do. But art, it has no rules. You can do whatever you want. I like to lighten it up just a little bit. The reason that I do this is because it's still a smooth background, but it also makes it easier for me to see whatever the principal thing that I'm painting from the projector. So it's a little bit lighter. So now we can see what we're working with, right? All right. And then I use my heat gun right here. And boom, right there. That doesn't take long at all just to dry that out. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to roughly put in some colors in the background for the bird. And you could do this with whatever character it is. So here I'm just using a standard cheap small paintbrush, not a paintbrush like the ones that we're going to do the bodies on, but just a standard like a wall paintbrush, just one of these small ones. I don't know what to call these, but you could get one of these cheap ones anywhere from the dollar store or from your paint store. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but we're just doing this so we can get some abstract colors into the bird for the background. All right, you're gonna love this technique that I'm about to show you. So then let's just get the brush a little bit wet, and then we're just going to put it in some pink. All right, a little bit of red, and then the water. And let's just look. You see how loose I am with it? I'm being free. I'm not thinking about it, right? If you watched my last video, then you know that how I like to paint, I like to try to find the mistakes. And what I mean by that is Bob Ross always talked about happy mistakes. The genius in anything that you do, I'm a firm believer, is the mistakes. That's where you're going to find the work at. That's where you're going to find the good stuff at. It's always at times whenever you create a masterpiece or you create something that's really different and cool, people always go, how did you create that? And then you look back on it and you don't really have an idea. You can't explain how you created it because you let yourself trust in the process that it's already there. Like, you see what I'm doing right now? Like, I'm just trusting in the process, right? Just broad strokes. So try to find the mistakes, try to have fun. And then even say to yourself that no one's going to see it. It doesn't matter. No one's going to see it. Just let yourself have fun and find the mistakes. Find the ugly. That's where the beauty comes out of. When you try to have beautiful stuff, that's when you try to have control of it and it doesn't look good. People don't like it. They could tell that you're trying to have control of it. You can't find the mistakes that way. Just let it happen. Okay, so right there, that looks good for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put that brush away, and then I'm also going to dry this part too. I'm going to dry this down. That way I can start doing some scribbles on it with acrylic, and you're going to see what we're talking about, how we punch it up. This is going to look so cool. Back to the heat gun. Boom. And we're done right there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the lights back on. And you could just see that's just our background color. So now I'm just going to get funky with it, right? I'm just going to put in some pastel. This is oil pastel. You can get any kind that you want. I use the cheap kind. Like I said, I've been doing so many pieces of art where I've sold over 1,700 pieces of art just on eBay itself. And I've had expensive pieces of product and I've had cheap, and there is no difference. The only difference is that you've been robbed. You've been had. You can use any art material that you want to use. It doesn't matter. But I do use a certain type of acrylic and where I get it from, and I make sure that I also have it in the eBay art community, and I can tell you all the discounts and all the equipment that you need. Save yourself money, but also have still quality at the same time, because you don't want to go too cheap. If you go too cheap with certain acrylics and paint, then you'll have a problem where you have to double paint it, because sometimes the paint won't be as strong, and then it'll look like it's like a watercolor when really you're trying to have an acrylic. Or maybe you'll have to overpaint because something is too cheap. But at the same time, I mean, I really don't use anything expensive. I use Liquitex. I use this a lot. This is the brand that I use most of the time, and you could get that on sale all the time. But if you don't want to get that if you don't want to get that brand, then you can also go to Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby has a really good acrylic from their store brand, which is Master's Touch. That's really good stuff. So yeah, those will work right there. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, let's see here. Let's add a little bit of red in here, or no, some pink. Okay. And look at this. I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be scribbles either. You could just do some circles too. Those really look good, you know, when you do the circles. I'm going to show you. All right, now that we did this, okay, right? Enough dibble dabble with that. So we did that for the background color. I mean, we got some really cool colors that's going to be in there for our Toucan Sam peacock. No, not a peacock. It's a Toucan Sam bird. So now what we're going to do, let's go in here and we're going to add our colors in. Now we're going to really punch it up. I forgot to add a gray on here. Let me add some gray. Parrot. That's what I was thinking this whole time. It was killing me. Is this a parrot or a toucan? One of the two. You know what I'm talking about. So, broad strokes. That way it shows confidence in your hand and your work. You don't want to double doubt yourself. Like I said, this isn't art school. You can do whatever you want. But I've just learned over the years when it comes to doing art, broad strokes, especially when you use a 1 inch. Don't get a small brush, and because you'll be too much into doing this, and then you'll be correcting your work. It won't really look the way that you want it to. It won't have that confident look, but also you're going to be spending more time in it. What I teach in the eBay art community is just whatever work that you're going to do, just make sure that it's within 7, 10, or 12 minutes. No more than 12 minutes. Just get it done. All right, so that's beak right there. And let's add this red like that. Just trust in the process. Any mistakes that you make on this painting, fix it on the next one. It's a learning lesson. Sometimes it happens like that. Sometimes you'll have a great painting where all the mistakes are flowing right. And then the next time you may want to paint it again, the opposite could happen, where it's not flowing right for you. Or also in reverse, you can have one where it's not going right for you, and then you can try to paint it again, the same subject, the same toucan Sam parrot, and then it works for you. That's why you have the freedom also to paint whatever you want to paint, and you have the freedom to paint it again if you want to. There's no problem with that. Don't feel like just because you painted something once that you have to leave it. Or don't even feel like just because you painted something and maybe you sold it to somebody and then you can't create it again. That would take you forever on trying to recreate the wheel again. Because then you're going to always be thinking that you need to find new references to paint. And that would just take you time as well. You could paint whatever you want, and you could paint it over and over again if you want to, because you're the artist. Even though you sold the artwork and it isn't original because you painted it, you could still paint another one if you wanted to, and something of its reference, of its style. I mean, at the end of the day, you being the artist, you still own the intellectual property of you being the original in the artwork. So if I wanted to spend a whole day painting this toucan Sam, I can. And then no one could tell me any different. What is the art critic gods going to come down and sue me? No, they're not. There's no rules to this. I love doing art because I'm always waiting for like the art critics or the naysayers or someone always when it comes to art and something that you do, someone always wants to come out and try to have some rules about you can't do this, you can't do that. I love it. Because they expose themselves. And then deep down inside, they know it too. Like, we're just going with it. We're just putting in some colors for now, right? Just some different colors. Look at that pink. Look at that, how that popped in there. Just going with the flow. And then when we're done with the colors, right, I'm going to lighten it up with some white. Outline it with some black too. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm comfortable with that. The reason that I'm comfortable with it, I don't want to paint too much over the work that we've done, where we did the kind of like the watercolor with the brush when we first started, and then after that we did the oil pastel, and then we just added some broad strokes onto it. So that's pretty much it. That's a clean look for me. I don't want to do too much. Now what I'll end up doing is I'll go in here, I'll add some black, touch in like just the line it up, and then I'll do white as the last step. So let's do that. Boom. And then after I do this, I'm going to do a time-lapse video of me just knocking out some work where I have to do 20 some paintings. You know, just my normal day. But on that one, I'll just be able to just mostly focus on the work at hand instead of doing a walkthrough where we're talking together. Because these usually take me a little bit, just a tiny bit longer, just because I'm focused on walking through the process of my mind with you guys of how I'm able to do this and how I'm able to be in a free flow state. And I give you permission to do the same thing. This is the eye, right? That is so cool. Look at that. Now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna add some light colors. Either some white or some baby blue, right? I think that's cool. I think we could turn the lights on now. Let's turn the lights on. And punch in the areas of what we want. Blue there. And look at this. I mean, we did this together. If I can do this, then you know you can do this. I mean, you have to be saying that to yourself when you watch me do this process. You have to say, I could do that. You're right, you can do it. You could easily do this. It's already inside of you. You know what to do. The only thing that you have to do to make this happen is to stop listening to society. Stop thinking that you're not an artist naturally. Stop thinking that you need to go to art school, or just let it happen. Look at this. It's already just naturally flowing, right? You can do this. And then after you do this and you see how great it looks, you're not going to want to keep a secret after a while. You're going to want to do something with it. Why not make the money? Make the money work for you. In this short amount of time of doing this, what else were you going to be doing? Doom scrolling on the phone. Social media gets old. You're going to look at the same thing. You could be making money for the holidays. And no one has to know about it. No one in your family has to know that you're doing this. You don't need social media to do this. You don't need an email list. You don't need followers. You don't need to build up any kind of gathering or any kind of followers or a brand in order to start selling art, and you can start making money next week. Click the link below, sign up to the eBay art community, and I have everything set up for you. All the templates, all the designs. It's only $97 to get started. I'm not one of these people where they're telling you, oh, it's free. And then you click on it, and then I'm asking you for an email just so I could call you and be like, oh, it's actually $1,000. Here's the upsell. Nope. I'm transparent. It's $97, but you'll make that money back within a couple weeks. Boom. We're done right there. I don't need to dibble dabble anymore on this. But let's add a little bit of orange on the eye and a little bit of orange in the, just a little bit. Right there. Right, hold on, right there. And that's it, I promise. All right, that is cool right there. Look at that. And we did that together. Let's put our signature on here. That took a little bit longer just because we're having fun, but you can see if you're focused and it's just you and you can do whatever you want, this will take you, a quick amount of time. You don't even have to think about it. And the reason why is because give you the permission to have fun, be creative using the projector. We already had the dimensions, we have the size, everything is already there. I don't have to guess and look at something. I can't do it. And I've sold so many pieces of paintings. Look at that. right? Hopefully, maybe that'll be a thumbnail. There. That's awesome. All right, so there's that painting right there. I'm going to do another video right now where actually I'm going to do another walkthrough because this was too much fun. And the next one, I don't know what it's going to be, but look at that. If I can do this, you can do this too. Sign up, click the link below, get tapped in. Everything is there created for you. I have all the downloads, where you can get all the supplies. Everything is for you. Make that holiday money, start bringing things in, get an advantage. All right.